Hey!
It's life.
Oh, go figure. Look at that. Oh, look at that.
Look who changed venues! Excuse the mess, I'm still kind of getting moved in and everything isn't where it should be, but we're on to something great here, guys. This place is awesome. There's horseshoes, there's a pellet stove, there's someone's old bike, and I think it's shaping up to be a really good place for a good little bit. Today we're going to try and see if we can reach Supergirl levels of views by dogging on feminism a little bit, because I just need to ride that high of, oh my gosh, look how many we got. And here's hoping. But one thing I hate is strong female characters. Now, I know that sounds very clickbaity. That's because it's the point. But make no mistake, there is a point to my clickbait. There's naturally been a lot of hype and excitement from a lot of different people about Captain Marvel, specifically because it is the first female-led Marvel movie. However, it is not the first female-led Marvel project. We're just gonna sweep Jessica Jones under the rug, sweep it away, just be gone, because though it was probably the first female-led Marvel project, it was inevitably carried by a man. And people have been asking for a very specific female-led Marvel movie for about 7 years now, if I'm not mistaken. Guys, I think Black Widow was pretty much useless, but even I would have loved to see a Black Widow movie. Not gonna lie here. But most normal people with a modicum of sense looked at something like this and thought to themselves, okay, cool? Why do we care? Because unlike most of society that isn't sexist for the sake of the progressive narrative, most people don't care about what dangles between the protagonist's legs. And while I think we can mostly say that Captain Marvel was not a commercial failure, it's a critical one. And if there are critics saying that it's not, they're idiots and they're letting their blinders get the better of them. Let's strip away for a moment the fact that this movie completely disregards previously established things within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it just destroys some of the world building they've had, they don't explain things, and it's overall just a mess on how they get down to the meat of what's going on here. We're not going to focus on how Carol got her powers. We're not going to focus on S.H.I.E.L.D. being called S.H.I.E.L.D. in 1995, even though in Iron Man it was not called S.H.I.E.L.D. We're going to take 10 seconds so I can ask you a question that is very important. What do we know about Carol? All right, 10 seconds is up. What have we learned about her?
Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
There's a lot of things about this movie that I absolutely hated, but this right here might be the worst part of it all. Just for me personally. One thing I appreciate about movies like Civil War or Infinity War or even Age of Ultron is that while there's a lot of visual clutter with how many characters there are, there's still a sense of each character has a personality to them. Someone could jump into the middle of the MCU right now, having only seen Thor, and they could tell, okay, Iron Man is Mr. Robo McScience Pants. Hey, Ant-Man is way out of his depth. The Vision is a social retard. And in fact, let's go back to Age of Ultron for a second and talk about Ulysses Klaue. This guy made a combined total of maybe 5 minutes of screen time, and already he has more of a character in the entire MCU being dead by the end of Black Panther than Carol Danvers does in an entire movie. We learn he's a smuggler, he's dangerous, he's a bit irreverent, and he's afraid of cuttlefish. 5 minutes. Not a whole movie, not like 30 seconds, no, 5 minutes. For me, that was enough to leave a lasting impression on my brain as to who this character was, and for him to be one of my favorite small-time characters in the whole MCU, just because it was so hilarious to hear an arms dealer thief talking about cuttlefish going woo woo woo.
Deep sea fish, they make lights, disco lights, to hypnotize their prey, and then I saw a documentary, it was terrifying.
So when it came time for him to come back to Black Panther, I was pumped. I was mad that they didn't utilize him properly, but I was still pumped. Compare that now to Carol Danvers, who I still confuse with Kara Danvers, and you can see why I might be a little bit mad about that one too. Guys, I know naming people is hard, but if I'm confusing Peter Parker with Pete Parker or something weird like that, you need to go back and rewrite the name of the character, please, for everyone's sake. I can't think of anything that I know about Captain Marvel besides the fact that she's played by Brie Larson and Tom Holland is kicking her.
Damn!
Let's compare that now to Alita. You know what I know about Alita? She's kind, she's sweet, she loves chocolate, she's willing to fight Ed 209, she's a soldier, she wants to help people, and most importantly, she just wants to know who she is. I forgot to mention the part about Captain Marvel also being an amnesiac. I just don't think that's how much I forgot about this movie, because that's like a huge thing, and somehow still I forgot about it. Which is kind of ironic, I think, right? For as jumbled as Alita Battle Angel was, you at least got a sense that Rosa Salazar was playing a character. Someone with depth. Someone that is a real person, even though, ironically, they're a cyborg. Which is hilarious when you consider the fact that most of Brie Larson's performance in Captain Marvel was just really wooden and robotic. Is that funny to anybody else besides me? I just came up with that on the spot. That's not in my script. Okay, I forgot about this part too. Again, this is how memorable this movie was to me. But for people who are telling me right now that she had to repress her emotions because that's how they trained her, allow me to show you my reaction to this when I was watching it the entire movie. You are failing! But like I was trying to say before that aneurysm of genius just now, is that Alita, for as jumbled as the movie is, features a character. One might say she's a strong female character. Sorry for the long way to go, short time to get there. I just had to get that little tangent out beforehand. But this is the thing that annoyed me the most about Captain Marvel, is that they kept marketing her as a strong female character. It seems like a lot of feminism's focus nowadays is to make a female character, but not really. As my girlfriend once said, what they do is they just take a dude and they put that dude's brain in a female body, and boom, strong female character. And then they say they're a badass because they can do anything a guy does. I'm not gonna act like she needs to act like a girl, but it's kind of insulting to my intelligence that a strong female character is someone with a bland personality that can do whatever she wants because screw logic. It also makes me mad because idiots like this seem to act like the rest of TV and film canon just evaporated like Thanos snapped his fingers. Sarah Connor, a woman who became the ultimate doomsday prepper when she found out that her son was basically Jesus for the mechanized apocalypse. Anyone? Ellen Ripley, a woman who has to navigate a spaceship whilst it's in the middle of space as a higher form of apex. There's so much in here I have to say. Ellen Ripley, a woman who is on a spaceship in the middle of space where no one can hear you scream as she tries to not get tracked and killed by a higher form of apex predator. Anybody? Buffy Summers, Zoe Washburn, Felicity Smoke, Katara, Toph, Ahura, Scully? Are y'all really gonna act like this bland, expressionless white girl is a more memorable and more revolutionary character who, by the way, mainstream people don't really know who this is. I'm pretty sure most people are just now introduced to Captain Marvel, and you're gonna act like she is more iconic than literal American iconography and Americana that's been around for several decades? Who, by the way, is played by probably the hottest woman in Israel ever, probably the hottest woman on the planet. You know what I love about Wonder Woman more than anything else? Besides the fact that Gal Gadot is amazing and beautiful and a cool person, I don't have a crush at all. Besides the fact that there are scenes where she can just be a girl in Wonder Woman, where she's eating ice cream and just like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. She has a personality from the get-go in Dawn of Justice. Like, watch this right here. Watch this moment when she's fighting Doomsday. Okay, if you could somehow pull your gaze away from the perfection that is these legs, then you'll notice Wonder Woman is smiling in this fight. Holy hell. Do you know what you're seeing? You're seeing personality. So what do we learn about Wonder Woman in this fight? She wants to help people. She understands when a threat is big enough. She likes to fight. She's a warrior. She is not easily deterred. This is even expanded upon in Wonder Woman itself. She has a narrow worldview. She's been sheltered. She has a big heart. Trying to compare Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel is like trying to compare the Winchester's 1967 Chevy Impala to the blueprints of a mid-90s Ford Taurus. Does that make sense to anybody else? I'm not a car guy. Moving on to the things I know. This is like comparing a Glock 19 to a freaking High Point.
Disclaimer, Dan the Movie Man does not have a hate on for High Points. In fact, he appreciates what they are for the business and how people can easily access them. No offense to High Point, please don't hate us, please sponsor us in fact. Bye.
I mean, okay, yeah. This has all the makings of something that will go bang. But guess which one I bought, and which one's actually worth a damn. And while I'm ranting, can we please stop with this BS about how, oh, she's a hero because she got up, or anything like that, I get it. It means they're not gonna let adversity get them down and they're not easily deterred. That's cool. But it's so cliched that it makes me want to throw myself off a bridge somewhere. Fun fact about the human species, we're what's known as an apex predator. Now there's a lot of stuff that goes into this, but the primary thing is that when we fall down, we don't just die. We're not a prey animal, okay? We're not like horses.
Okay, so horses are prey animals.
They are, and you'd think they're tough because they weigh like 1,200 pounds, and they have dinner plates that can like bash your freaking brain out, and they can run like 30 miles an hour, but they get a freaking tummy ache, and they're like, I guess I'll just lay down and die now. And you're like, yeah, I'll just give you some pain meds and maybe you'll live. You think? Maybe, no.
I mean, this whole junk about, oh my god, Carol Danvers is such a strong female character because she actually gets back up. She's not gonna take this sitting down. It needs to stop. It doesn't say anything about her character because she's not a strong female character. She's not even really a character. She's so painfully bland and devoid of life, I couldn't even say she's like a self-insert for someone's Marvel Comics fan fiction. Because even then, there'd be a bit of a personality. I kind of like that there. And I wouldn't even be mentioning this if it weren't for the fact that it seemed like people were actually banking on Captain Marvel being a strong female character. If it didn't insult my intelligence that way, I probably wouldn't give a crap. And I know someone's gonna be like, oh man has opinions about my favorite comic book character. Okay, just stop. Don't act like you need to defend this. Don't act like this is a good movie. It's not. There's a whole other can of worms I could get into about this. Like how a lot of the jokes in this movie are, look, 90s, that was a thing. You remember Blockbuster? They didn't even think about Netflix. Haha, those morons. Radio Shack, more like Radio Bankrupt. Alright, this movie is awful, and the lead character is awful too. I have hopes that they'll give her a bit more of a personality come Infinity War, because they teased her really hard about it, but I'm just trying not to use that thing on myself. I won't, I'm just kidding. Don't kill yourself, people. But anyway, previously recorded from my new digs, I'm Dan the Movie Man. Have a good day.